What up, nerds in the simulation? I was born under this flag. I will die under this flag. I was asked yesterday what I hope to achieve in this current political operation in my life, and my life's work is to die with more freedom than the freedom that I was conceived under. And if you think about the absurdity of that statement, that are human rights endowed by the Creator, as we exist here, one nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Again, I understand that I'm wearing sunglasses, and that's going to turn off the video for some people. I got a Denver hat on. That's going to fire up some people. I got a Slayer t-shirt. That's going to discount some people. I've got a beard. I'm a white guy. Those are the things that are going to turn people off to this content. And one of the greatest lessons you may learn in your time here on this immortal coil, folks, is that someone's opinion of you is none of your business. The end. What we're going to discuss today, I'm going to bring up Jesus. That's going to turn some people off. We're going to talk about American values. That's going to turn some people off. And for those of you who stay here throughout the entirety of this 10 minutes, then we'll all be on the same page when it's all said and done. And you can listen and open-heartedly pray and have a mind full of gratitude, gladfulness, and the fullness of your heart center and your love for all of mankind. Working with those very simple principles in mind, here is the situation that we're currently facing as citizens of the United States of America. We have an election coming. Here are everything that can happen, and I'm sure of the 8 to 10 scenarios I'm going to list off. If we got into the weeds, there would be millions and millions of scenarios. Let's just start in the Donald Trump camp, okay? Donald Trump wins because he gets more votes. Donald Trump wins because he cheated. Donald Trump won because Joe Biden was told to lose and he lost. Joe Biden chooses to lose on his own, and Donald Trump wins. Foreign governments work to get Donald Trump elected. On the flip side of that, again, we can run down the same litany of options for a Joe Biden win. He actually gets more votes. He rigs it and he wins. Trump doesn't rig enough and Biden wins. A foreign government helps Biden win. Trump's told to lose. Trump decides to lose. Again, there is a myriad of options here. But what eventually comes down to this, folks, is we have a United States election that no matter the outcome and the truth beyond the outcome is that one side of this country is not going to believe it. And when you look throughout history in countries and civilizations that have come across this point of their history, where one side of the population, be it half, it could be 10%, it could be as little as 6%, there will be a segment of population that doesn't believe it. So now you know. Here are the options of what can happen. The option is half the country is not going to believe it. History tells us that in that situation will lead to the potentiality for armed conflict here in the United States. So now you know. You have between now and the election to get yourself in the best shape possible. You have now between now and the election to learn all of your neighbors' names and become friends with them and make sure that you are doing your best to be the most well-armed you can be, the most trained that you can be. Because if this falls and is allowed to, go into the area where we believe that it's going, there are going to be municipalities, mayors, governors, senators, and police staffs and DAs who are going to lay down for political expediency, and they will allow lawlessness to occur. It will be up to you and your neighbors and friends and ability to defend yourself that will maintain the peaceful tranquility on your block, that if you started today would continue to manifest even beyond this time when things may change. And so if you know your neighbors now, and you're the most healthy you are now, you're the most well-trained and the most well-armed, if you're the most measured and you're very honest about this situation, understand where we are and how much time remains. There are countries, domestic and foreign, intelligence, funding, and operators here on the ground who seek to undermine the United States of America. They don't believe in God. They believe in a totalitarian government brought in via Marxism to win by any means necessary, by hook or by crook. Again, there will be those municipalities and those governors, mayors, DAs, senators, and congresspeople who willingly align with their corporate partners and lay down to allow for the encroachment of foreign powers to engage with us for their version of a totalitarian government. Our history is marching hand in hand right now with the Chinese Communist history, with their struggle sessions, the flesh banquets. We know that now there are concentration camps in mainland China. Even right now, as a United States citizen, speaking out against this very thing is illegal to the Chinese Communist Party. If they were able to get me, they could bring me to their mainland and hold me under their laws. Those same laws that are taking freedom away from the folks in Hong Kong, that have already taken the freedom away from the Uyghurs, who are using them as political prisoners to body farm, to sell organs, and to kill and to experiment on. We have corporations here in the United States who are working hand in hand, knowingly facilitating and allowing and aiding and abetting those very acts. We have a league like the NBA who is so happy to work with the Chi-Coms that they will not say anything. They also will not say anything if an election flips and all of a sudden half the country believes that it's politically expedient to allow the same kind of camps to exist here. And if you thought that folks now are not saying anything about those camps over there, well, they will be virtuously and morally cheering them on or looking the other way as they occur here in the United States of America. Know that that is a potentiality of the outcome of an election where half of the people do not believe. And so you have the time now, you have the wherewithal to build your network of friends, open-hearted, like-minded patriots who are here to preserve the peaceful tranquility on your very block, in your home, in your town, in your state, and here in the United States of America. We may get deputized into action to work alongside with the military and law enforcement to maintain domestic peace here. That's as much of an option to us as them running roughshod and building camps here and hunting people by the way that they voted. A lot of voter rolls are open. It's an open access platform, and as much as our data is being stolen now, and as much as we here in the United States know which governors, senators, mayors, and governors and politicians have already become willing, complicit associates of China, then we already know who the patriots are. And guess what? China has the same list. And so if you're an open-hearted patriot, they know. And there's a file on you. And it will be used against you. So know that these are the possibilities here that await us. And do what you can. Again, training, get God first. You get God first. Then with your faith, you'll be able, using that faith, to weed through the lies that are being brought into this country. That we do have the godless and demons among us who are here to kill those that disagree. Not just we need to arm ourselves to preserve peace. These are folks that they believe they need to arm themselves and actively kill and hunt you because it is their moral duty. And now you know that they're here and you know that they're doing it. We've been witness to the siege and the insurgency now in cities all across the United States of America. We've watched the police be told to stand down. We've watched certain police municipalities. The gentleman yesterday said that he could deputize every single lawful gun owner in his town to preserve law and order. And what is it to preserve law and order? It's the same sense of peace that we find in our heart center as we gladfully exist and gladfully share in the message of what it is to be an American here. I was reminded today, and this is, I'm going to get into a couple minutes of Jesus, and people are going to tune out, or they're going to tune out because the video is too long. Again, if you hung in till the end, there's always a payoff in all things. There's this great story today about Jesus and the paralytic. There's a guy, of course, he's a paralytic. Was he white or was he black? He was in the Middle East, more than likely, brown as fuck. It doesn't matter. He can't walk. He's a paralytic. Jesus is inside of a house. It's gone through the land that he can heal. The crowd is so huge around the house that folks who need to be healed cannot get to Christ. There are people in the paralytic's world who love the paralytic so much that they work together to gain access through the crowd, get on top of the roof of the house that Jesus is in. They remove the roof. Think about what it would take to have somebody come and say, we're going to work together to open up a hole in your house. And they lower the paralytic in. The crowd has known this paralytic their whole entire lives. And if you understand what a grand awakening would be to see that paralytic get up and walk, and how earth-shakingly miraculous that is the same level of miracle we will experience here in the United States of America when we peaceably assemble as patriots to ensure domestic tranquility and peace and preserve law and order, which is the oath that we have sworn to take. Again, there are those people who do not believe it and need us dead. They need our speech taken away from us. They need the guns taken away from us. If they can remove your ability to earn an income, they will. If they will strip your ability to do banking, they will. They will bar you via law from being able to purchase goods, being able to have a roof over your head. We are seeing it now in the economic pressure being put on the majority of this country to put them in a psychological position of fear, of scarcity, as they bombard folks with fear and scarcity from the media. But we know that because we've been watching it for 5 years. We were aware of the operation when it started. And instead of being swayed and getting pulled down the rabbit hole, you remain steadfast in your liberty, steadfast in your faith, and steadfast in the confidence of who you are as a great American. And those are the things that you can be doing. Those are the things that I can and will and have been doing. Again, know all of your neighbors' names. Wave to every single neighbor that you see. All of them. You are only as safe as your most unsafe neighbor on your block. For those of you who get to meet everybody, you are going to learn folks who are going to need assistance in times when things get tough. They may be elderly, they may not have the same kind of intellectual capacity, and they may not be experiencing the same day that you're experiencing. Which is why as you go about your day, okay, peace to people of goodwill. And so as you exist as a person of goodwill, you will be drawn to people who are also of goodwill. Once that happens, then what gets exposed are the people who are not of goodwill, who remain with hate in their hearts, hate in their minds, a mind full of negative and hateful thoughts. And they're getting a poor diet. They're also getting the same economic pressure. They've been indoctrinated to believe that this violence is virtuous, and now they've been led down a path where they're working in conjunction with foreign governments in an insurrection against the United States of America. We're watching operatives from Antifa and BLM get taken down for their foreign funding efforts and training across this country. 10 years for violating on federal property and trying to cause havoc or mayhem or terror. If you are involved in the domestic or international trafficking of human beings, the executive order has already been signed. Do not be surprised if Donald Trump on a dime goes full mask on. He may turn full heel wrestling style mask on because the side that believes Orange Man bad, who have been demanding, not asking, demanding that you do something as medically impressive as putting a t-shirt over your face. Those people who have been demanding that while saying that everything that Donald Trump is evil will be faced with the choice of how to react now that Donald Trump has openly been talking positively about the wearing of masks. And if you believe you should be wearing one, God bless you. I agree with your choice to. If you invite me to your home and you ask me to wear one, it's my choice to be a part of that. Same if you run a business. Again, if you're asking someone and they say no or they ignore you, well, then that's great. Something we may find in the United States of America, how about something on a job application that says Black Lives Matter, checkbox, All Lives Matter, checkbox, no answer, checkbox. And if everyone who came to get a job had to answer that question, then guess what? Everybody would be working exactly where they were supposed to be working. Because you would be aligned in heart and mind that it's not about these political check marks that we're surrounding ourselves with. It's the freedom and the liberty that God gave us in our entirety that allows us to work passionately for free. The idea of work is not negative. You've been sold this idea that it's negative because it's wrapped around a commute, or it's wrapped around micromanagement or poor bosses. And the reality of the situation is those of us that have moved to a different perspective in this, again, perspective is powerful. Get God, get guns, get the high ground, and go rural. That's a perspective that will change your reality when the time is necessary. Again, we're going to a point in the country, all right, where there's going to be an election with an outcome that half the country doesn't believe in. JohnToll.net is where you can find my stuff. weaponsgradefaith.myshopify.com. I've got the most ignorant pro-American t-shirts you can own. Support the cause. God bless America. America first. We already won.